Kev, a slight layoff in fixtures, but back in action for the midweek game to Maidenhead. Just first off, how has the last 9 days been in terms of training and preparation and reflection upon your previous games as well?
Yeah, I think you used the right word there in terms of reflection. Certainly coming off the back of a couple of defeats, so it's not been ideal. You generally want a game within quick succession to try and put it right, but we've used the time really well for various reasons. For players that are coming back from injury of carrying slight knocks, so it's a chance for them to recover fully. We reflected on, certainly I had a meeting with the staff, reflected certainly on my time since I've been here. What have we done good? What can we do better? We've had meetings with the players, so we've used the time really wisely, but also we've got some good training into the players. We've had to manage the load in terms of giving them the right time off and when we're training, so we feel like we've done that right. So they'll go into tomorrow's game fresh and ready to bounce back from what was a disappointing result against a very good Barnet team. We're all positive about tomorrow. The response from the players has been excellent in training. We have to learn from those 2 defeats, and hopefully we can put it right tomorrow night.
And as we enter the next 2 months of the season, what's your focus? What do you want to achieve out of the next 8 or 9 games? Momentum.
Of course, we want to try and get back to winning ways, because it's not nice losing football matches, but it happens. So it's sort of something I want to experience any more from now to the end of the season. It's an important time coming up in terms of the next 2 games, because after the break we play Tuesday, then Saturday, then we've got a free week, then we've got 4 games in 9 days, which is going to test everyone. So if we can go into those fixtures full of confidence, but we just need to gain some momentum, and by that I mean winning football matches and getting back to basics in terms of being hard to play against, being hard to break down. We all want to keep a clean sheet. We're desperate to keep a clean sheet, and if we can do that, we've got players that can score goals and hopefully win us football matches.
Yeah, difficult given the circumstances last time out with your defensive cover. Tom Parks, Luke Waterford, both of them dropping out. How is everyone gearing up for Tuesday night?
Yeah, everyone's. Unfortunately, Tom Parks is still suffering from the knock-on effect. He suffered a concussion earlier on in the season, and this is his second one, so he's had to take a 14-day concussion recovery, which is frustrating. So he's not available for tomorrow. But Luke Waterford's back. You're right. We certainly got hit in that area for the Barnet game, and that's an area you don't really want to be affected when you're coming up against one of the best teams in the league. But everyone's in good form. Apart from him, it's just your usual Otis Khan, who's hopefully back in the building this week to do some running and up his recovery. Anthony Mancini completed a full training session on Saturday. It'll be too soon for him Tuesday. He needs a good week of training, so potentially he could be involved in the squad next Saturday. Josh Umera completed a training session as well on Saturday. So I think he's just feeling the effects of that today. But apart from that, everyone's fully fit and raring to go.
Yeah, and just on lads returning, you saw Alex Lacey come back last week, but also Tom Crawford missed 2 games, and he's a big player for us, probably goes slightly unrecognised in the central midfield role. So how big is it now that we are getting some squad depth back to the side?
Yes, hugely important for this stage of the season for numbers and for competition for places. And I have to say Tom's been excellent since I put him in that midfield role next to Phillips, and we've missed him. So it's great to have him back. He's chomping at the bit to get going. He was gutted that he missed those 2 games. So he's been a big player for us. So that's a big plus for me and the team. So there's competition, in all places really at the minute. So that's good. Unfortunately, people are going to miss out to tomorrow night. We've got quite a few lone players as well. I can only have 5 in a match day squad, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. We're in terms of the squad at the minute, we're in a decent place. So now it's just trying to put that right on the pitch.
Yeah, how have you found that, just man management, speaking to players, whether it's, leaving them out the squad or putting them on the bench, how have you coped with when you do have players back, you do, get a bigger squad?
Yeah, well, it's part and parcel of my job. for me, I've said from day one, I can only pick 11 players, and obviously you only got 5 subs as well. And I chose last week to be a bit bold and not put a goalkeeper on the bench, which some people might think that's crazy, but I did it all last season at South Shields and never had a goalkeeper on the bench once. So touch wood, nothing happened. But it's great as long as you talk to the players, you're honest with them, and they generally take it all right. Yes, they're always going to be disappointed. They all want to play football, but it is our business. And all I say to the players is, if you're not playing and you're not in the squad, make sure you train hard, you train well, and you give me a problem, and you're telling me on the training ground that you want to play, you want to be a part of it. So, I have to say, at the minute, the response when players haven't been involved has been excellent. I haven't had no one, throwing their toys out the pram. They've all bought into it. They're all going to get potentially minutes over the next 8 weeks because of the amount of games coming in a short period of time. So they've got to be ready and focused, and when you get your chance, you've got to take it.
And just in terms of younger players, Kieran Burton going out on loan to Chester, played at the weekend. Louis Stevenson's played twice at the academy, and do have a few academy lads on your registration elsewhere as well. So just how important is it now that lads are getting game time and really impressing, if it's not here at another club, in the last stages of the season?
Yeah, it's very important. I'm a great believer in, young kids should be, playing football. Once you've had a taste of your first team, you want to be playing regularly. And the situation with Kieran Burton was he had to be patient. I was well aware. I'd spoken to him that I would get you out on loan as soon as I could, and it was right. Because I don't want someone sitting here, training really well and then not being involved in the matchday squad. It's not healthy for him, and it's not healthy for us. So I wanted to get him out on loan, so he's gone to Chester now, so it's great. He'll be playing football. Louis still a young lad. He's done really well for me. He's trained really, really well, and he hasn't let me down when I've called upon him. So, but it's important that he needs to play football. He's been dropping back down to the youth team and performing. So he'll dip in and out of the first team from now to the end of the season. And as I say, he's got great attitude, and he's certainly one that hasn't let me down yet.
Yeah, and just on tomorrow's game at Maidenhead, 4 goals at the weekend, a big win over Dorking, which will surely install some confidence. So how do you look at them? Of course, we haven't been in action for a week as well, so you do have that sort of factor to look at. So what sort of test are you expecting?
It'll be a big test. They'll be the home team, as you say. Their confidence will be high, coming off the back of a good win, a much needed one, at this stage of the season. And, they'll be focused on thinking they can get a result against us. They leapfrog us in the table, so it's up to us to try and not let that happen. We know their strengths, we know what qualities they've got. Just like every team in this league, they've got 2 or 3 players that can hurt you. If you're not on your game, if you're not switched on, you're not at it, they'll hurt you. And that's what happened at the weekend. But they've got their weaknesses, and we have to try and exploit that. But as I always say, we respect what they are, but it's about what we do. We've already shown we can go away this season and dig in and get a result, and we're going to have to do that on Tuesday. We've got to get back to being aggressive, being hard to break down, collectively working together, and trying to keep that ball out the back of the net. And we all desperately want a clean sheet, because I know we have got players in the squad that can score goals, and that's never really been an issue. It's now we just got to get back to the basics and do them well. And if we do that, we've got a great chance of winning the game.
Yeah, just a word on one player in particular, Manny D. 1 week tomorrow goes to Wales to face Wales C. Obviously, got a call up for the England C squad. Just great recognition for him. Been a great season for him. Scored over 20 goals. So just a word on him.
Fantastic! I'm delighted for him. I think he thought I was winding him up when I mentioned it in front of the lads, but it's a great honour to be able to pull on the England, the Three Lions shirt, no matter what it is, whether it's an A, B or a C squad. It's a great honour for him, so I'm delighted for him. He's buzzing. Touch wood, he doesn't go away and pick up any slight injury or not, but if he hopefully can go into that game on the back of a really couple of good performances for his club, and then he can go and really enjoy it, because it's the pinnacle of your career to represent your country. I was lucky enough to do it, and it's something that he'll never ever forget, and it's thoroughly deserved as well. So credit to him.